Hello, everyone. Joining me today is a very special guest, Anusheel Parikh. Anusheel is a chartered accountant with a PG certificate in global economics from IIM Calcutta. He also holds certifications in investment banking, financial risk analytics, financial markets, and project management. After having a great learning from corporate experience of around 18 years in successfully managing the business functions and responsibilities, Anusheel has transitioned into entrepreneurship to follow his passion on industry academia research and conducting study on multiple industry sectors from global perspective through his newly established firm IEI, that's Industry Exposure Initiative. He is also a visiting faculty in many institutes and colleges and closely works with industries to reshape the career based education and policies. It's a pleasure to have you with us here today, Anushil.
Thank you, Devesh. Same here.
Thank you. We'll straight away jump into the questions. And my first question to you is, why do so many students still struggle to get jobs even after finishing college?
Okay, so Devesh, this is basically a socio-economic factor, not specific to college or the industry job availability. If you look back around 4 decades, talk about 2, 3 generations back, like our grandfather and all those. So the majority of the socio-economic factor used to be they used to earn for just their livelihood. 4 decades back, India was not a great booming economy like what we have today, the opportunities. Then if you talk about the next generation after them, like our father and all those, they used to work at least, just to give a basic example to ensure that, yeah, I should be able to give a good education to my kids. Now the third generation which has come, like us, who has been, working to build up, some more financial strength and
Yeah.
build up some more status, gain some more additional luxuries of life. So this coming generation is having the pleasure and benefit. The majority will not have those kind of chaos in their life in terms of social stability and all those. They will be already enjoying the effort of these 3 generations. Their motive and their expectation from themselves has to be decided what need to be done. Okay, and even if you consider from the job and skill perspective, let me be very clear. 4 years 40 years back, that means 4 decades back, it was a generalization time when you used to have an example like doctor, MBBS. If he has done an MBBS, wow, great. MBA, if he has done an MBA, good, business management. Then the time moved from generalization to specialization, like cardiologist, oncologist. Example in terms of MBA, MBA in HR, MBA in finance, MBA in operations. So in last 4 decades, we have seen two things movement. One is generalization, and then it is moving to specialization. Now the third movement which is happening right now is skill based. That means if somebody has done MBA in finance, but what you want to do in finance? Finance is a big area. You want to go in wealth management, you want to go in portfolio management, you want to go in equity research, investment banking, M&A, financial services. There are multiple. So these specific things are skill set. So today the industry expects the skill set, not the specialization. And if you see today the institute and the industry expectation, there is a big mismatch. What is that mismatch? We are still running on that same curriculum which is has been running over the past 2 decades, except few changes, but still you are on the specialization mode. But the industry now looking for skill based mode. That's why you see top institutes of India like IITs and IIMs, they are coming out with multiple online courses which are purely skill based, like PG in machine learning, PG in artificial intelligence, business analytics. So the institute, our education system has to now take a shift from specialization to skill based model. That's the main fundamental reason why this is not matching in terms of industry of education as well as the corporate sector. And more specifically, even whatever is prevailing today in the education sector, if you know, the around 65 to 70%, in around 67 point something percent of the population of our country still lives in non-urban areas where there are not much industries for exposure. So the curriculum remains in the same format what it used to be in the school, in form of classroom studies rather than real industry exposure. So I think these are the two main reasons why there is a gap between the industry expectations and institute are not able to match that. They are working good, they are putting that effort, but the speed with which the expectation is, that has to match it. That's the main fundamental reason, I believe.
Absolutely. No, I understand that. I think there is a massive gap between the expectations of the industry and the skill level of the students or the recent graduates.
Yes.
Now, you have started the initiative, the industry exposure initiatives. What
Yeah.
makes it different from other similar programs, the skill development programs that we run in India or that we see in India?
Okay. So Devish, first of all, I would like to mention here with lot of proud and lot of gestures with positiveness in our countries that our industry exposure initiative is activated as a DPIIT startup recognized by Government of India in specifically skill development program. And in terms of how we are different, instead of giving much big answer, I want to be very specific with one line difference. Okay, if you see today, most of this exposure and what we call in form of, in terms of multiple learning platform, either online or offline or through the webinars or whatever, still in India, more than 90% of these learnings are considered as a course certification. So when you talk about course certification, despite of the fact that you will have some case studies, industry learning, it is called course certified. That means you have learned the skill. How we are different is that our certification is termed as industry certification, not course certification, which means industry certification means application of the skills, which gives the leverage to the students, not maybe as a great experienced candidate after their academic functions, but at least they will not be treated as a fresher. That is the main fundamental thing. So we are different in terms of, we are not focusing on course certification, we are focusing on industry certification. That means purely real industry learning with working on the real work environment. And we have three main functions for it, three main options: hybrid, on-site, and off-site.
Okay, fantastic. That's very helpful. Now, can you take us through a student's journey? How do the students actually learn through IEI, and how does the training or the skilling or the certification works?
Okay, so uh, for your subscribers and whoever views this video, I will explain it with a practical example. So it brings complete clarity and understanding how our concept works. Let me give you an example, Devesh. Suppose there is a candidate, there is a student who is currently pursuing his undergrad course, like maybe BCom or BBA. Okay, his college is suppose morning 7 to afternoon 1 or 2. So when he comes home, have his lunch, he generally thinks, what shall we do, or what shall I do after the, in my spare time. Everyone have their own choice, but today this generation I feel are very smart, ambitious. They know what to do, they have a clear cut direction in their mind, they know the plan of their next 5 years very precisely. So any student, suppose, take example of one of the real case study which we have come across in last recently 4 months back. So there was a student who was doing his graduation, and he used to return to home around 1:30. He wanted to pursue his his time, he wanted to utilize his time in some exposure kind of thing where he wanted to build his career. So he wanted to build his career in wealth management. He is very much interested in wealth management. So he approached us. Before that, he approached multiple platforms, but he said, I am ended up in learning and getting the courses, but I want a real industry learning. I want to spend that time. So what we did is, we first understand and evaluate that whether he really understand any basics of the wealth management, because just like hype, it can come into mind. Like today, data analytics. If you ask about, most of the students, they will say data analytics, but the real core thing, what it is, you should know before entering into any of your career profile. So in this perspective, we understood, evaluated his profile, whether he really understand, he's really serious. It's kind of counseling or mentorship kind of thing. Once we were confident that yes, yeah, he's really particular and practical to what he's thinking of in wealth management. So what we did is, we have some tie-up companies in multiple sectors, whether manufacturing, financial services. So considering his example in terms of wealth management companies, we have some tie-up companies from wealth management companies, NBFCs, finance sectors we have. So if he thinks about utilizing his post-lunch time, that means around 4 to 5 years. Let us be very practical. In India, nobody gives job. for 4 to 5 months. Sorry, not yes, 4 5. Something he's looking for 4 to 5 hours a day. Let's take like that. 4 to 5 hours a day he wants to utilize after his, after his college. So job is practically doesn't look feasible in our country. So what could be done? So what we did is, one of the company, they were struggling with the manpower also. So they didn't wanted a full-time employee, but they wanted somebody who can support the real working team in terms of some of the functions which they are looking for. So that's where we pitched in. We gave the opportunity to the student to work in one of the wealth management company as an exposure, that he gets the chance to work there every day. He used to go around 4 to 5 years after his lunch for 4 to 5 hours, spend time, initially have a training and learning kind of thing, expecting that he already have some basic skills with him. Then he continued getting some assignments. He's started getting some, independent assignments to perform, and also to work with the team. So it's not only about getting the exposure in the industry, it's about getting the real industry skill set in terms of communication, team working, handling the pressure, time management. These are also equally crucial skills, which is basically ignored much in the course curriculum, which is not practical. It's not like that. They have the different focus, but our focus is like 360-degree in this term. So in this perspective, he got the chance to work in the company as a kind of I won't say internship, but as a additional guy in terms of supporting as a management trainee kind of thing. So he learned there, he delivered there, and he performed well. What happened? He is just finishing his graduation. 3 months down the line, he already have a offer from the company that why don't you join us after do that. So this is the model how we do, not teaching much, giving the basic skills what is required, and then directly come on the ground and feel, not about learning the thing, also getting into the environment of industry in terms of communication skill, team working, time management, all those things. That's how we work.
Fantastic. So can you so you share how a student comes to you first, you sort of mentor them, try to understand if a student is ready, and then
Yeah.
you place them in an organization who is looking for such students who are passionate, who want to do something, who want to develop their skills. And on the other hand, the industry is looking for such students who have some skills, and they can develop more skills while working. Now,
Yes.
you said that this student is just finishing. What happens to the other students? Can you just share a little more about
Yes.
what happens
Yes. Yes.
after finishing the course?
We are actually, in terms of certification, when you are asking, we are not focusing on the crowd or the volume. We are focusing on the quality. So that's the reason why I mentioned that our certification program is purely backed by evaluation and uh, selection process. So what happens is, a student uh, apply through our website. Our website is www.iei.org.in. They apply there, give the details. That itself clears the 20-30% of the screening, post which we connect to them. We see that what is their mindset. They are really, it's like a counseling and mentorship kind of thing. And then when we think that, yeah, this guy is really good and deserves to, or clears the opportunity for the real industry skill, should get the opportunity, that's then we connect to the industry. And once he successfully gets a good rapport, or gets a good feedback from the company or the industry, that where he has worked, it's good, and he has completed couple of assignments, that time we certify him, and that gives him the leverage. So our industry certification, IEI, as I told you, is not a course certification, and it's hold a lot of trust and brand value among the industries, because uh, one of the challenges we are also addressing in internship module is the timeline, assignment based challenges, and the most important thing is the quality. So what happens is that in India, if you see, the survey says, even if you search in Google, the research says that more than 70% of the internship in India is not valued. Why? Because either it goes through some sources, or it is not being completed sincerely. And companies also does not bother much in many cases, because they know the guy has come for only a month, he has to get the certification. It is one of the mandatory requirement from the college. So this mindset does not create the seriousness and the importance from the careers perspective of the student, as well as the need of the industry. So that's where we are pitching in. We are not focusing on volume, we are focusing on quality. So a student who gets certified through our platform is having a lot of trust and lot of confidence of the company that yeah, if this guy is II certified, not only in terms of work exposure, he is also a suitable and well personalized candidate in terms of teamwork, communication skill, and other parameters what is expected in the corporate environment.
Fantastic. This is very exciting. We are almost coming towards the end of the session now. I wanted to understand if a student is interested in IEI, what's the first step that they should take to get
First,
started with you? Yeah.
okay, okay. Other than II, let me be very clear for the students. First, decide yourself what you want to do, and do not freeze yourself in one area, because when you are in this your academic mode, like when you are pursuing your undergraduation or graduation, trust me, you are in the best position to experiment with your career. Okay, so if you are interested in very specific wealth management, might be whatever be the reason, you should explore the nearby areas also, like portfolio management, research based work. So what happens is that this first, it gives you the 360-degree holistic view on the thing what you are looking for. You get the chance to understand and evaluate the nearby career profile areas what it could come in your horizon, and you actually able to decide after this exposure, are you really willing to go into that area, or there is something else which is better in you, which you have found out, or which has been helped to find out in your case. So we have an example. There was a student who wanted to go into similar kind of thing, portfolio management, equity research, but the kind of communication and the kind of the way he has the clarity of delivering the speech in terms of clarity and explaining and convincing somebody, we understood that this guy will grow much better even in his field research, but he should go to the insurance sector, not in the finance sector. And trust me, this guy is doing really good today. So that's how IEI helps, not only from the perspective of giving the platform for opportunity to have a skill based learning, but also the 360-degree holistic point of view, overall career based nurture of their for their entire life, which is coming up, which they are planning to. So that's how they should be. So first, decide yourself what you want to do. Be open to experiment with your multiple skills, because that's the best time where you don't have to lose. You have only to gain an experience, and then you move to it. And from IIE perspective, once you decide, you can log on to our website. As I said, www.iei.org.in. There is a student page, or you can top, you can see apply. Then you can go to that link, give your details. The details are very much precise, very much specific. That itself clears our understanding around 30 to 20 to 30% that what you are looking for. And once you apply, we connect to you, we understand your expectations, and then after evaluation and selection process, you have to you get the opportunity. But one best thing, Devesh, I want to mention here is that, as you mentioned, I'm into industry, academia, research. So we are the only platform in India, let me tell you right now, where our model is not revenue from the students. So basically, we do not charge students for this grooming courses and learning kind of things. They just need to register once in a lifetime in our platform, which is a very meager amount. They can check in the website, and rest they connect with us for the entire life. So that means, as I gave you the example of the candidate who had an exposure in wealth management while pursuing his undergraduation. So in future, if he is going to post graduation, again he wants to have an exposure, he can again come back to us, giving his registered number which we give to him. He doesn't need to pay anything. He just need to pass through again through that evaluation selection process. He gets the opportunity again. So it's just a one time connect with us, and lifetime we take care of you.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much, Anusheel. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And thanks for sharing all these wonderful insights.
Thank you, Devesh. Great initiative from your side as well. I wish you all the best for all these endeavors and wish you great success. Thanks for onboarding me on your platform.
Thank you so much.